Happy to have you with us here today at the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. I'm Christian Taylor. Sunny day, but a windy day as Georgetown and Towson will battle off. And it should be a fun one for sure, as these two teams, they always seem to put together a good fight. Very early in this count, sees a 1-1 count. It's the leadoff hitter and Brianna Wright for Towson. Pitch on the way, and that is strike two. Georgetown getting a win against George Mason in their last game, and it stopped a 20-game losing streak. And so they're into winning ways, and they'll look to get a couple more. And, you know, sometimes a win can stir the pot a little bit, just seeing one go through. That's the case, isn't it? Trails away a little bit, makes it 3-2. Brianna Wright sits and waits. Next pitch on the way. It's hit into foul territory, and it continues that way. So the wind today is blowing from left field to right field. And we'll see just how active center fielders and right fielders are today. Have to imagine that there will be quite a bit of shenanigans going on today. This wind has anything to say. This one smacked into center. It carries a little bit, hits off the wall. Wright heading into second base. She slides in and makes it. That is a leadoff double for Brianna Wright. And it is the Towson Tigers who gets going in this first inning. Second batter is Kara Bonner, second baseman for Towson. Abby Kozo is the starting pitcher for Georgetown today. She sends one through. That's ball one. Kozo given the nod by Coach Ross as she looks to put in a good performance in non-conference play. That moves the count to 2-0, and time's called. That's Holly Pardini behind the plate for Georgetown. She's going to come out and chat. And here's how the starting lineup looks for Towson. Bonner here batting at second. It is Kristen Toland batting third. She's at first base. Fourth is Grace Franzik. She's behind the plate. Madison Peters is fifth at the DP. 2 balls, no strikes. You can hear that wind into the headset. It moves to 3-0. It's kind of a hold down the fort type situation here in the outfield. It's making sure nothing blows away. Tape jobs are very much around. And there's a strike to Kara Bonner. Just a 3 balls and 1 strike. Windup and the pitch. Just a chopper that continues to hit off the foot of Kara Bonner. Batting .298 this season. It's 39 hits, one of the top hitters this season for the Towson Tigers. Long opening couple of at-bats here, and Bonner is really working Kozo, who climbed back into the count. As this one gets away, it allows Brianna Wright to advance to third base. So the walk converted by Bonner. As that really impressive at-bat works in her favor. And so time is called, as everybody is going to chat about some things here, including Coach Ross, who sprints out of the dugout. Coach Cameron Dolby talking with Kozo. And these first few batters reaching, and certainly have to talk about scenarios. And so the chat was short. Kristen Toland, the first baseman, now up. Wind up in the pitch, and it's just a little outside. Kozo's trying to find the strike zone here more frequently. So we talked about the fifth batter. It was Madison Peters. Sixth for Towson is Isabella Canisi. Casey Benton is in right. She bats seventh. Kozo moves home, and there's a strike. 1-1. Batting eighth is Mackenzie Gorzyka, and ninth is Elizabeth Jaskowitz. And that is how the lineup shifts out for Towson. The count moves to 2-1. So runner at first is Kara Bonner. At third base is Brianna Wright, who had the leadoff double. Delivery home, and just hits the black. 2-2. Kristen Toland batting .351. That's good for second on the team. Pitch comes in as it trails away. It moves full. Kozo's done a lot of first base this season, but this pitching area of hers has also been fairly prevalent. 3-2, and it curries up, and Pardini needs to catch up to this. Is Wright takes advantage, slides in safely. Now all of a sudden, it was Kara Bonner who was almost caught in a pickle. So that walk, because it was so wild, it allows Wright to come in. And so Towson have the first run of the game here in DC. And steps in for Towson, the fourth batter in Grace Franzik. Franzik this season at a .372 average. Pitch on the way, gets a piece of it as it's up the middle. Turner takes over, bobbles it a little. Both runners looking to advance, they indeed do so. Everybody moves over, and Franzik into second base. That's her RBI. It's 2 runs across the plate now in this game for Towson. That is their lead. And Kozo still yet to record an out here. And it will allow Coach Dolby to come out again, and that start was very short-lived for Kozo. And Sage Hager is the new pitcher for Georgetown. We'll let her warm up, and we'll try to settle things down with this wind. We'll pause for a moment. It is 2-0 Towson, first inning. Glad you're with us here, folks, in Washington, D.C. windy as it has ever been. And you're having the feeling that this wind is affecting some of these pitches so far. Already saw Kozo allow the 2 runs. She is taken out of this game from pitching. She's now over at first base. Emily Strittmatters to third. And the new pitcher, Sage Hager, as this one continues deep and over the fence. It is a 3-run homer for Madison Peters. And Towson extend the lead to 5-0. Hit off of her watch. And Towson rolling just exactly as they would have maybe ever dreamed. All these wind gusts today are something else, folks. That actually just almost knocked the headset off of me. 1-0 is the count. And it moves to 2-0. Count moves to 3-0, and Abby Kozo quickly comes over to Sage Hager and has a couple of words for her. Pitch coming, and there's a strike. Wow. Well, Towson have been able to strike for 5 here in the first inning, and still no outs. As the count moves to 3-2 off of that delivery from Hager. Three and 1 count to Casey Benton for Towson. With a 1 out here in the first inning. Hager goes home, and that's ball 4. It's another walk. It's a 3rd walk issued by Georgetown pitching today. And Towson have almost hit around. They're up to the 8th spot now, and third baseman in Mackenzie Gorzyka. Pitch comes home, and that's a strike. Holy moly. Well, today, it is the story of the wind. I think it's a little bit better at field level than when we're at. That's fouled away. I've got wind gusts, folks, listed at nearly 40 miles per hour. That is incredible. Gorzyka hits it into right field, and it drops fair. Now waiting on it just in case was Benton, but she's into second base. The line just keeps moving for Towson. And Elizabeth Jaskowitz, the left fielder, is the 9th batter here for Towson. And all of a sudden on deck is Brianna Wright. Runners at first and second, 1 out, 5-0 is the score. Bunt is shown for a moment. And it's taken by Pardini as she was in that triple threat position, if you will. Four hits as well, but 3 walks issued by the Hoyas. Bunt shown as the pitch stays away. Now the question will be is how much this is going to affect everything else. We have not seen what Towson pitching It's now Madison Peters, who homered in the first inning. Pitch comes in as it's hit towards foul territory, and it continues out. That's the first strike of the at-bat here. Sunny day, but it is setting this 6 p.m. start time. And there's a strike. 0-2. Madison Peters batting .291 this season. That home run of hers was the fifth of the season. And Hager misses the strike zone on it. Trying to go low. .94 ERA this season. It's her 7th start of the campaign as well. Wind up in the pitch. It stays out of the strike zone for 2-1. This is a windy day, that is for sure. Swing and a miss there. There goes the runner, and Fenton. She is in safely at second base. So now for the Hoyas, a runner in scoring position for Kozo, who would certainly love to knock in a run. She clobbers it foul. 2-2. Just a brief break from conference play here. You know, Georgetown, when it comes to the Big East, you have some off weekends. Everybody kind of cycles through. There's a odd number of teams, so not everybody plays every weekend. So that was the case last weekend. But Georgetown did play against George Mason and got a win. Get their 9th win of the season. They stay non-conference with Towson. As there's ball 4 on Kozo. And off she goes to first base, and it's the power-hitting Naya Campos, the DP. Started this game at third, but now moved to DP with the reconfiguring of the defense after Sage Hager had taken over inside the circle. Campos, the junior, strike one. Out of Tucson, Arizona. Canyon del Oro High School. 0-1 coming, and a swing and a miss for strike 2. Campos as well this season, hitting a .212 average. 18 hits, 5 homers, which is good for second on the team behind Strittmatter. And Georgetown these last few seasons have had some power at the plate. Campos has been one of those players, always a threat to go yard. But she's got a 1-2 count. No outs in the second. And the changeup got in there. And she strikes out looking. And now it's Holly Pardini. We'll run through the defense for Towson. Behind the plate is Grace Franzik. First base, Kristen Toland. Second base, Kara Bonner. Third base, Mackenzie Gorzica. And at short is Brianna Wright. Ball 1 there. Left field, Elizabeth Yaskowitz. Center field, Isabella Canisi. And right field, Casey Benton. Cadence Williams inside the circle with a Towson team that's 18-23, 7-11. Coastal Athletic Association play. Just a few years removed from making it to the championship game for the CAA, losing to Hofstra. But program that is coached so well by head coach Lisa Costello in her 29th season. When you look at legends of the game, she is amongst that list. Been so long since this program has seen anybody really outside of her, and there aren't many at all. A coach who these players just adore playing for. 1-2. With one out, runners at first and second. It's Fenton and Kozo on base. Tricampo struck out looking. Fly ball to right field. This is Benton tracking in. She makes the grab and quickly hurls it to third just in case. You can't be so sure. Only with Fenton on the base paths. Now it's Gabby Park, batting .250 this season, batting from the left-handed batter's box. Strike one. 20 hits this season for her, just a solid attribute, a solid asset to have in that 8th spot. About consistently getting the hits together though. This Georgetown team knows they'll always have a chance when you got a hitter like her. Waiting to back you up, certainly if you get a player like Fenton on. And Kozo, like what they have now. 2-1 the count. Pitch coming in, a little bit off of it for Williams. And the strike call moves the deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. In the second inning, the second part of the second inning. 5-0 for Towson. Pitch coming for Williams and a strikeout. As Park strikes out for the 22nd time this season. We go to the third. 5-0 for Towson. The top of the third inning in a windy Washington, D.C. We are struggling to stay on our feet out here, but anything to be a part of Georgetown softball. And this is the first ball here. It's a level that sees so much talent, isn't it? No matter what the conference, no matter what the team, you have players who work tirelessly just to even play at this level, let alone be successful. These two teams have plenty of talent. Now the batter is Isabella Canisi. She is the center fielder for Towson. Up for the second time today. Pitch coming from Hager. Let's see just how long Coach Ross has plans for Hager out there. He's coming in relief. Certainly will go as long as they need her to, but seeing if there may be any other appearance today as Hager deals another strike. 2-2. Here's how the defense looks for Georgetown. Behind the plate is Holly Pardini. First base, Emily Strittmatter. Second base, Brooke Rebhand. Third is, I beg your pardon, first base is Kozo now. Strittmatter started the game at first. Kozo now at first. Third base is now Emily Strittmatter. Shortstop is Sammy Fenton. The 3-2 count. Hager in and fouled. In left field is Nina Sarlo. Center field is Claire Turner, and right field is Gabby Park. One is expecting to have a lot of action today. She has the sun in her eyes, though. And there's ball 4 to Canisi. Casey Benton walked in the first inning. Pitch on the way from Hager. It misses for a ball. On the count. Pitch coming. As there's a swing and a miss. 5-0 the score for Towson. All 5 of those runs scoring in the first inning. Sage Hager able to go 1, 2, 3 in the second. It's a matter of how she can work through this third. Now with the leadoff walk. Towering foul territory. Strittmatter just cannot haul it in. Anything hit in the air today is going to be very dangerous. As this wind is swirling, it is moving, and it's gonna kill some things that are looking to be routine. They won't turn out to be that way. Folks, even the light bulbs are moving. That is how windy it is. 0-2 to Casey Benton, a freshman from Bordentown, New Jersey. Swing and a miss as it's on the ground. And Pardini will go to first just to secure that out. The base runner in Canisi advances to second base. And now it is Mackenzie Gorzica, freshman from Prince Frederick, Maryland. Singled in the first inning. Now has an opportunity for an RBI as Kozo is racing towards it. 0-2 Pardini. Oh, who drops it. Had it in her hands by quite a bit. But now it's some new life for Gorzica. Folks, I'm telling you, a pop-up like that, maybe it kept it in play, but it'll be doing crazy things to you on the way down. So in the end, it's just a strike. Gorzica awaits, and watch out, it's hit to deep left! And she takes advantage of it! A 2-run homer! It's her first of her career! 7-0 Towson. Well, folks, Gorsica's mom is here, and she's able to witness her daughter's first home run of her career, and it's a big one. From what was an out, a moment that won't be soon forgotten, as that one's lined out to short for Fenton. Special moment in Washington, D.C. But then now it's another homer given up by Sage Hager. And Towson are advancing here through this game as it's back to the top of the lineup for Brianna Wright. It's a foul ball. She is 1 for 2 today. Struck out her last time up in the second. Doubled, scored a run in the first inning. And it's already her third time up today. Pitch coming. Hit at third. Picked up by Strittmatter, who makes the routine play to first. That concludes the inning, but Towson hit for 2. Mackenzie Gorsica with her first career homer. As we head to the bottom of the third, 7-0 for Towson. Holy moly, folks. 7-0 for Towson. As it's the bottom of the third inning. Nina Sarlo is the lone batter yet to step into the plate. And here she is, left fielder, the young freshman. She's got 3 hits this season. Showed a couple of things in the Creighton series. She is growing in confidence. That's a potential future of this program. She also has some great defense behind her, too. It's always going to keep you in the conversation, isn't it? She swings through strike 2. Cadence Williams doing a nice job so far, just allowing a couple of hits. One to Brooke Rebhan, another to Sammy Fenton, and they were all the lead off the inning. Sarlo keeps it at 1-2. Glad you're with us here on the Georgetown Hoyas YouTube page. I'm Christian Taylor. Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy playing host to Georgetown. These last years of this program. And a program that is now headed in a new chapter. Carla Ross in her first season taking over before the season began. She's got some players playing for her. Some things certainly haven't quite gotten and gone their way. There's ball 4, so a third straight inning for Georgetown. The leadoff hitter's on. That's been a part of it for Sarlo, where she's been seeing the ball well. She's been able to get some walks. That is her 7th walk of the season. Brooke Rebhan now batting. She singled in the first inning. The Georgetown team been a little unlucky in a few of these battles. Certainly in this recent losing streak that was just snapped. Saw some good things at the start of the season. Overall, this team did starting 3. Bunt is laid down nicely by Rebhan. Tries to run it out, can't quite do so, but it's well played by the Towson defense. We're certainly ready for a bunt, but what Rebhand was trying to do was move the runner over. Let's clear Turner in. Turner flew out to center field in the first inning. Turner hitting at 281, so her absence from the lineup in those few games were certainly felt, certainly against Creighton. She can add a little bit, certainly in the homer style, right? She's got 4 homers this year. 1-1 the count. Pitch comes in, Turner hits it on the ground. Good stare by Gorzyka at third. As she throws out Turner at first, and she's able to stare back Sarlo. Emily Strittmatter now at the plate, who hit into a double play in the first inning. Strike one. Strittmatter really has been the leader offensively for this team, .333 average. She has started and played in all of them this year. One of the few players to say that as this ball gets away. There goes Sarlo to third. A runner standing just a little bit closer for the sophomore at the plate. Strittmatter makes some contact, hit it third, oh, it's off the bag! The run scores! Georgetown are on the board. It's an RBI single for Strittmatter. 7-1. And sometimes you just gotta put the ball in play. You don't know what's gonna happen. Popped up for Fenton, and it lands in between everybody, and Strittmatter ends up at third. Some defensive miscommunication and a little bit of the wind as well. Abby Kozo's now up. Swing of the bat here could turn this into a little bit of a ball game here. Anything is possible. That's good base running by Strittmatter too, just going and going until she would be stopped. Now Cadence Williams has to pitch out of a tiny jam. She called time there for a moment. Now she's ready to go as it lands in the opposite batter's box for ball one. Kozo, who walked in the second inning. Georgetown were unable to move those runners over. It's a strike. Kozo, the sophomore from New Jersey. Very versatile. You can see her at first, you can see her pitch, you can see her in the outfield too. That's strike two, so now all of a sudden Williams, one good pitch from getting out of this inning. Nearly unscathed, just one run, but needs to deliver a good one here. Pitch coming, and Kozo went up for it, and it is caught behind the plate by Franzik. And it's Williams who gets out of the jam. Let's go to the fourth. The score is 7-1 for Towson. Top of the fourth inning here in Washington, D.C. It's Garrett Bonner, the second baseman for the Tigers. As a new pitcher for Georgetown is Avery Wismar, so her suspicions ended up coming to fruition there. Just wondering how long Sage Hager was going to stay out there. Remember, there's a couple games coming up in the next few days for Georgetown. Providence coming to town for some Big East play. Game tomorrow and then a doubleheader on Thursday. 2-0. So just an opportunity to get some different looks out there. 2 balls, 1 strike to Bonner, a junior from Danville, PA. He's a good lefty, can bunt, but really has enough strength to clear it. But this year, still no homers. Been able to see her maneuver the offense well, though. 39 hits on the campaign. Got 11 doubles. Overall, just a very versatile player for this Tigers team, as their lead is 7-1. It's been helped out, has been the home runs for sure. Now Wismar is the senior from Brentwood, Tennessee. This is a grounder at second base. It's well handled by Brooke Rebhan. Kristen Toland next. As a walk and a run scored today. Toland, the senior, out of Sparrows Point, Maryland. Played at Eastern Tech. Freshman season, she redshirted. It's fouled away. But then became an everyday starter at first base by the end of that next season in 2023. And last season battled back from an early season injury. Ended up with 31 games played on the year. That's ball 2. Had 27 starts over there at first base. 2-1 count. Wismar pitching. And just hit foul. Look out. Didn't really just do about anything. That was hit very sharply. Moves to 2-2. Well, not only is it windy, folks, but with the sun setting, it is getting colder in Washington, D.C. It's at least somewhat bearable, but now it's getting there. Hit at third. Well handled by Stritt Matter. It's a log throw to first. 2 outs. Grace Franzik, the catcher. Single and RBI. So struck out swinging in the second inning, a part of that 1-2-3 inning for Sage Hager. Wismar looking to mow through a couple of these Towson batters. Here's a fly ball into center, carrying a little bit. Turner underneath, makes the grab! For the third out of the inning. Oh, for Turner, that was a nervy moment because just a little over a week ago, it was in a very similar situation where she ran into that fence, and that is what had exited her from a couple of games after she went back to it. That is the type of player she is. We'll take a quick break as we go to the bottom of the fourth. 7-1 Towson. here we are in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 7-1 for Towson. Happy you're with us. Hit into center field by Campos and readjusted to, but missed for Canisi. Bops out of her glove and into second base goes the junior. And so she is on. Folks, I'm telling you, if you didn't believe it earlier, there have been a lot of players who have had the ball in their gloves and it's popped out. This wind is doing everything all until the last moment. But they are calling that a double for Campos. As the new pitcher for Towson is Olivia Trombley, a freshman from Parker, Colorado. This is the advantage of the midweek non-conference games, right? You get an opportunity to see some other pitchers. Very valuable pitching moments. Since, again, the games do count, but it's at this point in the season, conference is what is most important. And that's exactly what these programs are aiming for. And it just gives an opportunity for these coaches just to see what all else works. Holly Pardini at the plate, who was 0 for 1 today. Moves to 3-1. Seven to 1 the score. Here it comes, hit into right field, and it's over the head. Rounding third, headed home is Campos, and it's a double for Holly Pardini. 7-2. As with back-to-back doubles, Georgetown cooking a little. Gabby Park now struck out swinging her last time up. Just hit foul there. So now Georgetown have 6 hits as well. Now they have 1 run in each of these last couple of innings. Still trail by 5. A runner at second. Again, a swing of the bat could put the Hoyas just a little bit tighter in the conversation of this game. 1-2 the count to Park. Park waits, takes a look at it as gets the favorable call of a ball. A junior from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. Attended Immaculate Heart Academy. Delivery comes home. Hit at second. Handled by Bonner. And there's the first out of the inning. But it does advance the runner. Chance for Sarlo now. Walked, scored a run in the 3rd inning. She has 1 collegiate RBI. Can she muster up another here? Georgetown and Towson, they've had some battles, certainly over the years, and always been some good ones for sure. That's a foul ball. Now the battles last season saw these two teams split the regular season. That's a ball. Keeps this count alive for Nina Sarlo. Last year saw a 5-4 win for Georgetown. That was on February 18th. first? She does. A run does score. So Sarlo has her second collegiate RBI, as the Hoyas now with their third run of the game, trailing 7-3. And Brooke Rebhan is the batter at the top of the lineup for Georgetown, is now batting. So yeah, that was the early battle between the two, and then the usual later on in the season battle. It was at Towson on April 23rd, almost exactly a year ago. Ended up as a 5-1 win for the Tigers. The last time it was here in DC, it was 2023. It's a 5-inning, 8-0 win for the Hoyas. 2-1. Kind of a similar situation where it was an evening game. Pitch coming, bunt was shown, but it's pulled back. 2-2. So all time, Towson are 14-8 against the Hoyas. Well, they've had the better of them, but it doesn't mean Georgetown hasn't won any. I told you, most recent win wasn't too long ago. This one popped over it short, and Brianna Wright takes care of business. As this game goes to the 5th inning, 7-3, Georgetown inching just a little bit closer, now down 4. Another look for Madison Peters at the plate for Towson. It's her third time up. Had a homer in the first inning, and that was the moment that they had shown that they are in business today. As Wismar is now working on her second inning of work, as that one's up for ball 1. Peters, who's the redshirt senior out of Chandler, Arizona. Seen her play role of catcher for sure, but this is the role for her. It's the sun now peeking behind the building, which might be a bad thing. Good thing for the fielders, but bad thing for the feel of this game. It's now 2-1. Now Peters this season, she's looking at a good handful of extra base hits, now up to 9 or up to 11 this season, as that next pitch is popped up at short, and Fenton closes the mitt on the first out. Isabella Canisi's next. Junior from Northfield, New Jersey, Mainland Regional High School. In this game today, she struck out swinging, walked, scored a run. Let's just remember her defensive play here in the last half inning, where she had it in her glove, but it just escaped for the moment. But really is a talented defender, and even with that defensive play, I saw her just constantly have to readjust how she was attacking the ball. She can do it really well. It's really hard to get it past her out there. 0-2. Wind gusts at about 40 miles per hour here. And they're getting stronger. One ball, two strikes to Kanisi. Started 46 games in center field last year. A 246 average. Hit right at the Towson dugout. Stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 7-3 the score. Both teams with 6 hits in this game. Wismar going home, and it's another foul ball. Wow, Kanisi really is working hard here. The 1-2. Took a little bit off of it there, Wismar. They're in this top of the 5th inning in Washington, D.C. Here comes a delivery from Wismar, right back at her. And she can record the out at first. 2 away. Casey Benton, the right fielder. We've seen a little bit of action out there. This is a program that's been able to inject a couple of first years this season. Benton being one of those. I see players like Kayla Pilson, Mackenzie Gorzica, strike there. Olivia Trombley, who's now pitching, and Amanda Ash. Been able to see a little bit of an impact by some of these newcomers. This one's ripped foul, just beyond the Towson bullpen. 1-2 count. As Wismar is looking for an avenue out of this inning. And she gets it at a swing and a miss. Wismar, back-to-back innings going 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 7-3. Goes 2-3-4 for Georgetown in the 5th inning. Back on the rubber is Olivia Trombley, freshman from Parker, Colorado. Attended Ponderosa High School. Claire Turner 0 for 2. And threatened with the bunt, but pulled back. The Georgetown team coming off of that 5-3 win against George Mason. 4 runs in that first inning. But in this game, allowing 5, but are slowly crawling back. Here's the third baseman, and Gorzica And it's a good scoop by Tolan at first. Second time today that Claire Turner is grounded out to third. Emily Strittmatter, single and RBI, did so in the third inning. And there's a strike to start off this count. So you feel that, Georgetown are in a little bit of a better way here. And they've kind of grown into this game a little bit. And Strittmatter will certainly have a little bit of a say there as it's off the wall. Didn't miss going over the fence by much, and just gets into second base. Turned out to be a little bit closer than maybe what was expected. But she continues to roll. She loves hitting those doubles. It's her 7th of the season. Sammy Fenton next, who is 2 for 2, has a couple of singles. Georgetown are getting some hits here. Chipping away. Strike one to Fenton. All over at Penn, we talked about just the type of a player she was as she hits this one up the middle. Fenton with another single. Strittmatter going home. It's the 4th run for the Hoyas. They are down 3 in this 5th inning. And Fenton is having a good day. Four runs now in these last 3 innings for Georgetown. And they're not doing it with anything crazy, just slowly getting some hits put together. Time's called for the Hoyas. Talked about this as that little stretch of non-conference play, just playing enough to stay active, but not resting for too long. Now it's Abby Kozo at the plate. Well, we said last time when she was up, a swing of the bat that could have made it 4, but now a swing of the bat could make it 6. But for Georgetown, it is back to Big East play tomorrow. It's a 3 o'clock game against Providence. A doubleheader on the 17th. Foul ball doesn't miss the foul line by much. Then they go quickly non-conference again at George Washington, so you don't have to go too far. And then go to UConn at the end of April. Including one of those games being on FS1, that's the Friday game. And one final home series, it's against DePaul. Grounded softly at third. Gorzica has been called upon many times in this game. Certainly as of late. And it's one more put out for her. Naya Campos now. Double scored a run in the 4th. That ball misses the strike zone. 1-0. So just like that, this Hoyas season is coming to a close. There's still a lot of enthusiasm out there. Certainly in a game like this where it didn't start off too pretty, but it's getting a little more hopeful. There is still some clear skies. Just a matter of getting there. The count moves to 3 balls and no strikes. Certainly Trombley understands the power that Campos has. Just to pitch to her carefully. There's a strike. 3-1. Fenton is standing at second. She is 3 for 3 today with 3 singles. Now has an RBI to her name as Strittmatter had doubled to get to second. She's the one who scored. Ball 4. Now one swing of the bat ties the game. And it's Holly Pardini, who has 2 homers this year. Olivia Trombley, another opportunity, though, to get out of a jam. Good hold by Pardini. Batting a $189 this season. 14 hits, 2 homers, as we said, 2 doubles, too. Next pitch coming. And that's a strike. Wow, that wind gust may be the worst of them all today. About 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I was wrong. This one's the worst. 1-1 into the screen. The wind is carrying a little bit from left to right, but it's also going out a little. And that's maybe why you've seen a few more breaking balls today. A few more off-speed pitches. 1-2. Hit into right field, going into foul territory, and just clearing that foul territory fence. 1-2. Does Pardini have another opportunity here? Maybe the win helped that one too. 7-4 for Towson. They're trying to hold on to that lead. In the bottom of the 5th inning. This count stays alive. Glad you're with us here on Georgetown Hoya's YouTube page. I'm Christian Taylor. Pardini looks, holds. That is a tough one to hold off on, but it was the right call. 2-2. You know, being there in the batter's box, you know your heart skips a beat a little bit when you see a ball like that go by. There's another one, also just missing. It's moved full. 3-2 to Holly Pardini. Here it comes. Pardini puts it almost in play. Stays foul. There's a brief halt there as everybody had advanced there, as one should, with a full count and 2 outs, and everybody's going to go again. Hit towards short. This is right, and she gets the very important out. Georgetown hit for 1. They trail 7-4, but a little bit more life in this game as we go to the 6th here in Washington, D.C. Top of the 6th inning, Wismar back out for Georgetown inside the circle. As for Towson, it's going to be 8-9-1. And to the young freshman, Mackenzie Gorzica, who has been involved in this game both offensively and defensively. Looks at strike 1. Hit her first collegiate home run with her family in attendance today in the 3rd inning. And right now, that is coming up very important. That 5-run first inning looked to be a really good way to start the game for Towson. But now with how Georgetown have chopped away at this, they're up to 4. Had that 2-run homer not gone through, it would be 5-4. This one hit at third. Stritt Matter, a couple of hops, tossed to first, one away. It's left fielder Elizabeth Yoskowitz. Left fielders really haven't had anything to say today. I told you where the wind's blowing. Senior out of Sayville, New York. So fast. Now in high school there at Sayville High School, she holds the high school single season records for runs and steals and singles and walks. She also set a school record when it came to track and field as she swings through that. A 4x400 relay team there set the school record. 1-1. Pardini really having a lunge at that. Make it 2-1. Well, she was a part of last year's team, of course. Had a career high 32 hits last year. She just continues to climb up and show a little bit more confidence out there. Being able to be a slap hitter in this game is always very important, and it's a big part of her game. 2-2. Stays here. I know that 2023 season for her too was a little bit more of a breakout. 243 batting average, 25 hits, 20 runs as well. Two and two, fouled again. Good at bat here. Well, I told you what Yoskowitz did last year, but the team as a whole, Towson, 22 and 32, 10 and 17 in conference play. Missed the postseason. It's top-heavy conference last year. There was about a 6 or 7 game differential between playoffs and no playoffs. It's a very big conference now. Well, the top 6 teams advance to the postseason. Right back at Wismar. 2 down. Well, she wins that battle, that extended battle. As the top of the lineup is here with Brianna Wright, who had a double, scored a run in the first, and has not seen at bat since the 3rd inning. She had 3 at-bats in the first 3 innings, and now this is her first at-bat in 3 innings. Wismar doing a nice job. And has been the steadiest of the 3 pitchers so far for Georgetown. But you know, this Towson Tigers team, they did lose some players in the offseason. Some big hitters. Mackenzie Lake being one of them, the shortstop, career average of 345. She reached that coveted 200 hit plateau. She got to 201 in 186 games played. Hit into a gap, and Brianna Wright has an opportunity for multiple bases, and she's in standing up at second. Her second double of the night. And that is the first hit given up by Avery Wismar since she's entered this game. She had retired 9 or 8 straight before that double for Wright. Kara Bonner's now up, who has a run scored today. Ball 1, low and away, and it skips away from Pardini. Runner to third. Towson would love that extra run, wouldn't they? With how the Hoyas have been chipping away. 1-0. Foul ball. Just into the concourse. A couple other departures for Towson last year. Corey Jones, of course, she was great. 115 hits in her career. Allie Hickman, 123 career games played. Towering into left. This one's going to drop in here, and a good recovery by Sarlo. She made the first move back, and the ball just kind of slowed down, and she caught up to it. And the Hoyas escape, not allowing a run there in the sixth as we go to the bottom half. Still very much ball game. Hoyas down 3. Bottom of the 6th inning in Washington, D.C. It's Danny Koo to pinch hit for Gabby Park in this 8th spot. As is Olivia Trombley back out there and a sharp roller over at Coach Ross at third base. 0-2 quickly to Koo. Young freshman from Menlo Park, California. Stepped in nicely at the start of the season. Already a Big East Freshman of the Week early on. She's got some speed, and she has just that will to play at this level. And if she's not starting, she's one of the first players off the bench for Coach Ross, if not the first person off the bench. 0-2 the count. Fouled off. Lights kind of taking effect here now. The Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy in North D.C. Oh. It is very cold. Ball 1. So let me check the weather app here, folks. All right. It says 56. I'm not buying that. It says it feels like 43. A little more like it. Hit it third again. Corsica. Oh, she is a magnet over there, and she is delivering. Nina Sarlo, third plate appearance tonight. Walked, scored a run. Grounded out in the 4th inning, but she hit in a run. So the wind too, folks, it's listed at 17 miles per hour, but the gusts, the app says at 37. It feels crazier than that, but that is the type of elements here tonight, as this one's right back in at Trombley, who reaches out. 2 outs. Brooke Rebhan singled in the 1st inning. Wow. This one hit awfully hard in the left, but just foul. So, folks, there are banners that circle the walls here at Nats Academy. The wind is so hard. There is a Howard University Bison banner in left field. It is so hard that it swung up, and it's now curled over the outfield fence. That is how hard it's blowing. 1-1 the count to Rebhan. This has some distance, and it's gonna clear. Home run into the streets for Rebhan. 7-5. Georgetown hanging around. That was a no-doubter. And the ball is still in the street. For Rebhan, that is her first home run of the season. For how good she's been at the top of the lineup, still hadn't quite done that. And now she has, as this is now a 2-run game. And a new pitcher onto the rubber for Towson. It's Faith McCullough, the sophomore from Rising Sun, Maryland. We'll let her warm up. Georgetown within 2, bottom of the 6th inning. Faith McCullough, the sophomore out of Rising Sun, Maryland, the new pitcher for the Tigers. And strike one to Claire Turner. So she'll look to try and close the door here. Be looking for that 4-out save. Georgetown with that home run, now down 7-5. Bunt laid down and foul. Now that takes the bunt out of the equation for Turner, 0-2. Again, we talked about just now how important that 2-run homer from Mackenzie Gorzica was. It is now the difference in this game. 0-2. A Rebhan home run, the second of her career. And right at shorts. So, it is McCullough who does her job there. Let's go to the 7th inning. 7-5 for Towson. Seven to 5. So we hit the final frame here in Washington, D.C. Towson leading. Scored 7 runs in the first 3 innings. 5 runs in the first, 2 in the third, and have a couple of home runs as well. Avery Wismar has steadied the ship. Georgetown have scored in each of the last 4 innings. And now Wismar is trying to keep things where they are, give Georgetown a chance in the bottom of the 7th. This is Kristen Toland, the first baseman. Second pitch of the at-bat is grounded at short. Fenton converts most of those. This is the 8th hit of the game. For Towson. Wismar. It's a foul ball. Madison Peters batting. She had the homer in that first inning. Still looming pretty large. 1-1. So that's what's coming next for Towson's the Monmouth game, but then they have a game at Villanova for their home against Drexel the end of April. Start in May, they go to Delaware. This one at foul territory, and it stays that way. And that is the end of the regular season. So they need to pick up as many wins as possible if they have any shot of the postseason. Currently sitting in 8th. But still a chance, an outsider's chance, but still a chance. And if they can hold on for the win, that's some confidence as well. Just to break a 4-game losing streak. Fenton grabs it, looks very quickly at third just to make sure there's no advancement towards home. And it's a great scoop by Kozo. Definitely prevented a run. 2 outs. Isabella Canisi has a run scored tonight. And has to back up out of that one just for a second. Saw that pitch rising. Avery Wismar. 3 scoreless innings looking for a 4th. There's a runner at third, making things a little tricky. 1-1 the count. Moves to 2-1. Now Georgetown in the 7th inning would see 3, 4, 5 of Strickmatter, Fenton, and Kozo. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. One more pitch gets them out of the inning. And into the bottom of the 7th. Wismar rolls in, sends it home. Called strike 3. And some motivation going into the bottom of the 7th. Wismar, 4 scoreless innings. What a performance she's put in. All right, Hoyas need 2 to tie, 3 to win in the bottom of the 7th inning. That is next on YouTube. As we mentioned in the top of the 7th, it goes 3, 4, 5 for Georgetown. Emily Strickmatter's the first batter. These are all players who are very capable of hitting homers. If you want to put that one into the category, they have all hit some homers Certainly this season, the one at the plate strip matter with her 7 homers. It's the first one to look at. As the count reads to 2-0. Now it's Faith McCullough out there. She got the first out, or the final out of the 6th inning, but she got her first out there. But now trying to close the door, pick up the save here. And it moves to 3 balls, no strikes. Wind up, and the pitch for McCullough. There's a strike. So, I beg your pardon, Kozo has not hit a home run yet in her career. While she has shown power, she has not cleared the yard. Strip matter has, though, many times, and has swung right back into this count for McCullough. McCullough, who was teammates over at Rising Sun High School. Maggie Frisvold of UMBC, who pitches down there, pitched yesterday, or a couple days ago against UAlbany. This one towering high. That's shortstop, and really needing to adjust his right. The amount of times she had to recontort her body was quite a few. And that is a wacky first out. But a first out if you're Towson. Sammy Fenton has been the danger player today. 3 for 3, 3 singles. Strike one. Just can't speak enough about the importance of a first out in that final inning. If you can stop some sort of confidence, you're going to do yourself a lot of favors. And if you allow that first runner on, and things start to grow, don't they? 1-1. Hit it short again. Wrights will have to hustle the first. She makes the outs. She is showing why she starts at short. 2 away. Get up in time. Get up in time. And so Kozo reaches. Nia Campos, the DP. This is arguably maybe the player you want up right now if you're Georgetown. That's the 10th hit of the game for the Hoyas. We're hitting the ball a little bit better now in these last couple of games. Back-to-back games with 5 runs. For getting shut out a couple times against Creighton. Really only scoring about 1 run in that series. One ball, no strikes to Campos. Strike one. Campos tonight has a double and a run. That was in the 4th inning. Remember, that was the one in center that Kanisi had in her glove and it popped out. After having to readjust to it many times. Campos, it is in play, rolled back at McCullough, and that is the game. Got the pitch that she wanted. And that is your winner for Towson, who moved to 19-23 overall on a 7-5 victory against the Georgetown Hoyas. So they saw 3 different pitchers of Cadence Williams, Olivia Trombley, and Faith McCullough. Really getting that 4-out save today. And Georgetown with 3 pitchers too. Abby Kozo threw the first. She allowed some runs. Sage Hager came in relief there in the 1st inning. And between those 2 pitchers, 7 runs crossed. Avery Wismar was stupendous today. 4 scoreless innings to come on and give Georgetown a chance. They scored in 4 straight innings to make things interesting for this 7th inning, but in the end falling short 7-5. Other notables in this game: first collegiate home run for Mackenzie Gorzica for Towson. Big congrats to her, and did so in front of her family who made the trip over. So a moment she will certainly remember for a while. Home run as well, belonging to Madison Peters. That was in the first inning as well. And for Georgetown, Brooke Rebhan hitting a homer, her first of the season, second of her career. Again, as we mentioned, for Georgetown, tomorrow, Providence come to town. Big East battle back up in full swing. Game at 3 o'clock tomorrow before a doubleheader at 12 and 2 on Thursday. But that will conclude it for us here tonight at the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. The wind was